the company just announced a new guest for Preserve Halloween Fest coming up
Well,
November
dang, let's
18th,
talk
19th.
about
Yeah.
it.
Should we talk about it? Have we talked about it? I guess we haven't talked about it amongst ourselves yet, but we got Andre. I almost said Andre. That's not a name. Andre
No.
Gower coming as well, who's from was the lead in. I guess you could say he was the lead in Monster Squad.
Monster Squad. He was the lead in Monster Squad,
which I am like so thrilled about because we had Tom Woodruff Jr. there last year, who was also he was the Gill man in Monster Squad, but I love Monster Squad so much.
I do too.
That was one of those VHS tapes that I just wore out when I was a kid, and
Yes,
I
wore it out.
Like just oh man, it's like how like you had the cabinet of VHS tapes. For us it was like underneath the TV set, and you go through and you pick out whatever's in there. Monster Squad was on heavy rotation in my house for me, and
yeah.
it had been a while since I'd watched it, and last year I was like, I was about my daughter's age when I watched this movie for the first time, so I went back and watched it. And maybe not the best movie for a 5-year-old. There's some there's some name calling in there that's not on the level, I guess, with us in 2023. I'm saying maybe wait until they're like, I don't know, around like 10 when you can kind of more better explain things to them. But otherwise,
they use
great.
They use a term. They use a term for coitus in that movie. Dorked.
Yeah.
Dork. What do you say? Have you ever
say wolf dork too? Right.
Nards. Wolfman's got nards.
Yeah. They do say that, and then they say also like Wolfman has to wear pants to hide his wolf dork. It was another.
Yeah.
Movie too. No, but yeah, you're right. There is like some other like terms in there where you have to, if you're not from that era, you got to use the context clues pretty heavily to be able to figure out what it is they're talking about.
Right.
But I mean, still fun movie to go back and watch. You know what was really funny though is when it was over, I asked her. I said, "Hey, what was your favorite part of the movie?" And she said, "When the bully had to eat the gross candy bar. That was her favorite part of the movie."
Man. Look, I love that movie. I really wish I could meet Tom Noonan.
Well, yeah.
He was
Frankenstein, right?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Tom Noonan.
Yeah.
I would love for you to figure out how to make him a guest.
Bogus.
Like, could you imagine this be like when out it's Tom Noonan?
Not to spoil this 35, 40-year-old movie, but I feel like they did my boy Frankenstein dirty in that movie.
You think so?
Not to give anything away, but I didn't like how
give it away.
I didn't like how his character ended up.
No, I don't either.
Thing how he wound up going in the portal, but he had to go with the rest of them.
But he caught the dog Scraps.
He did.
Yeah, true.
He did.
That was really sad. I cried a lot. I cried big.
They had to have that emotional ending. I think it really was pretty emotional. So
it was good.
It's a good movie. Just go back and watch it again. It's fun.
It's good.
If you've seen it, then great. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It's awesome. And you know what's funny about that? We've talked about this, you and me, Moonbeam, before, is that movie actually supposedly takes place in Baton Rouge, where I'm from.
Whoa!
And it's not mentioned in the script. It's not mentioned anywhere else, but like somehow it wound up in the Wikipedia article that it takes place in Baton Rouge, which was weird. So like a few years ago, I was like, how else would you find out whether or not this is true? Well, Shane Black co-wrote the movie, who, he directed Iron Man 3 and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and whatever else. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to tweet at Shane Black and be like, hey, does Monster Squad take place in Baton Rouge? And a few hours later, he responded and he said, yeah, it takes place in Baton Rouge. And I was like, oh,
was it filmed in Baton Rouge?
I doubt it. I don't think so. I mean, that would have come out, whenever I was a baby, but still. It doesn't look like. I mean, honestly, there's a swamp scene in the beginning, and I think that's like the only thing that connects it somewhat to Baton Rouge, maybe kind of. Because there's like a swamp, like not far from where I live. But that's really about it. I'm guessing that's the only reason why they connected it to
Yeah, they were like, where could we find a swamp in the United States?
They were like, we need a city, but not a big city, but not a small town, like a too small of a town either. But also, we need a swamp.
Big enough for a drive-in theater.